You know how it goes. A super slick research report lands in your inbox, promising to solve all your tech problems. But you see it's sponsored by a vendor. So the big question is, how much can you really trust it? Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain and give you the tools to spot the bias. Just picture it. This beautifully designed report, it's packed with data that looks so compelling, charts that just pop off the page, and of course, glowing testimonials. It really feels like the answer you've been looking for. But, and this is a big but, can you actually trust what's inside? The stakes here are really high, because big decisions, and big budgets, often hang in the balance. And that's exactly why we're here. In this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to figure out just how neutral a vendor-sponsored research report really is. Think of it as a practical toolkit to help you see past all the marketing spin and get to what's actually going on. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the problem with praise. Then we'll put on our detective hats and follow the money and uncover the agenda. After that, we'll really get into the nitty-gritty and scrutinize the evidence. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a super simple 5-point checklist you can use on any report that comes your way.
Okay, first up, the problem with praise. Let's just start by understanding the hidden influence that sponsorship can have.
The core issue here has a name. It's called sponsorship bias. Basically, it's when the results of the research, whether people mean for it to happen or not, start to lean in favor of the company that paid for the study. Now, it's not always some kind of evil plot, but it's a really powerful, subtle force you've always got to be aware of.
And let's put some numbers to this, because they're pretty eye-opening. Get this. Meta-analyses on this topic have found that a staggering 78% of vendor-funded research shows a positive bias. Think about that for a second. More than 3 out of every 4 of these reports are likely skewed. And this usually happens through something called selective reporting, which is a fancy way of saying they highlight all the good stuff and quietly sweep anything that doesn't fit the story under the rug. Next, let's talk about the disclosure gap. Research also shows that almost half, we're talking 45% of these reports don't properly disclose their conflicts of interest. I mean, if you don't even know who's paying the bills, how can you possibly look at the findings with a critical eye? And to top it off, there's the validation deficit. A whopping 62% of these reports have absolutely no independent third-party verification of their claims. This means, for the majority of these things, you're pretty much just taking the sponsor's word for it. So, that's the problem. Now, let's get into our investigation. Step 1 is simple but powerful. Follow the money. It's all about understanding the sponsor's role. This is the very first question you should always be asking yourself. Who paid for this, and what exactly was their role in it? It sounds so simple, right? But the answer can tell you so much. So you have to dig a little deeper. Ask yourself, was this vendor the only one footing the bill? Did they have any say in the research agenda or the methods they used? And look really closely, were any of their own employees directly involved in running the study? The more upfront they are about all this, the more you can probably trust the report. Okay, once you've figured out who paid for it, it's time for our next step. Uncover the agenda. This is where you really start reading between the lines. And here's the main question for this part. Are the actual research questions themselves designed to shine a spotlight right on the vendor's strengths? For instance, if a company sells a specific type of security product, does the research only ask about the very threats that product is great at solving, while totally ignoring others? The way a question is framed can steer the entire study. So here's what to look out for. Check the neutrality of the questions. Is there any leading language that's kind of pushing you toward a certain answer? And maybe even more important, what's not being asked? If a report on a new piece of software conveniently forgets to mention its notoriously difficult integration process, that's a huge red flag. Those omission patterns can sometimes tell you more than what's actually written down.
All right, so we've followed the money, we've uncovered the agenda, now we get to the real heart of it. Scrutinizing the evidence. It's time to take a close look at the methodology.
This is, without a doubt, the absolute foundation of any research you can trust. A fancy-looking report with a weak methodology, it's like a beautiful house built on sand. It might look really impressive from a distance, but it's just not going to hold up when you look a little closer.
So how do you actually check that foundation? First, review the methods. Was it just a simple online survey, or did they do deep dive interviews? Second, look at the sample. Were they talking to a diverse group that represents the whole market, or was it skewed? Like, maybe they only surveyed their own happiest customers. Third, see if the survey was blinded. That just means participants didn't know who the sponsor was, which helps reduce bias. And finally, check the documentation. Are the procedures laid out clearly enough that someone else could repeat the study and hopefully get the same results?
Okay, we have been through a lot of the nitty-gritty investigative details, so let's pull it all together into a really simple, actionable framework. This is your 5-point checklist, the ultimate takeaway.
This is what you can take with you and start using right away. Number 1, always identify the sponsorship. 2, scrutinize the methodology. 3, demand transparency about any limitations or conflicts. 4, compare the findings with other independent reports. And 5, and this might just be the most important point of all, diversify your sources.
And that brings us to the most critical takeaway here. You've got to treat vendor-sponsored research as just one input among many. It can be a really valuable piece of the puzzle, for sure, but it should never, ever be the only piece you use to make a big decision.
So we'll just leave you with this to think about. In a world that is just saturated with sponsored content, where pretty much everyone has an agenda, is relying on a single source of information ever really a smart move? Or is that a risk you just can't afford to take?